Welcome back to What Arty Noobs with General Disturbance. This is the Object 261. It's the Tier 10 Soviet SPG. This one's located on the north spawn of Murovanka and it's under the control of pitro123. Game on. Well, not a lot of people know that actually there were 3 versions of the Object 261. This is the one that they proposed to make, but they had 2 other ones in mind. The first one was actually a 152mm howitzer, the BR2, which was going to be located in a closed-in compartment. The second version, known as the 2612, was an open 152, which is much like this version. And this version was number 3, the Object 2613, with the 18cm naval gun. Now, Pitro's looking around for targets at the moment. Plenty of them in sight, but none that he actually can get an accurate shot on. I think he decided there for a moment that he was going to shoot over. Oh, well, he finally got frustrated. You can see he wagged the gun there. Frustrated that he couldn't get a decent target to shoot at, and every time he aimed the target disappeared, so he didn't know if he got it right or not. This Arty has got a very flat trajectory, which actually makes it very difficult to shoot over some obstacles, but it does dial in very quickly. As you can see here, it's dialing in on that Gorilla 15. He fires the round out and oh, well, there he hit the TVP for 353 hit points, and I suspect the TVP actually ran into the Gorilla, and that's why he suddenly stopped. And so, yeah, he gets a nice hit. The alpha damage is 800, and it penetrates 45mm of armor. So, even with it being an 18cm gun, it's not going to do much damage unless you get a tank like that, which is the Gorilla 15, which has got no armor at all, and he just wiped it out. 401 hit points is all he had left. Yes, open vehicles are very vulnerable to artillery rounds because, of course, HE will kill the crew and they're on the outside of the vehicle. Okay, Bosch 155 rounds out the shots. No damage recorded. Oh, nobody stunned him. And he picked up some stun assist off the T110E3. Okay, so while he's driving, he's actually having a quick look at where the enemy is. And oh, just saw an EBR 105 die to a 113. Very nice. Okay, he's now ready to shoot. Found an Object 140. But instead he decides to go for the Object 705A. Grabs out. And yes, it did hit him. It hit the side of the vehicle. But only 313 hit points, a non-penetrating shot. Yeah, it's very difficult to get penetrating shots on the heavy tank with this one. This Arty has actually got the longest artillery range in the game, so it can shoot over the entire map, no problem whatsoever. It also happens to be the most accurate of all the Arty in the game as well, funnily enough. That's according to Wargaming, that is. And it's also got a very fast shell, 510 meters per second, so it tends to arrive at the target fairly quickly as well. It just doesn't do a huge amount of damage though when it arrives. Okay, fires one in there, and yes, gets a near miss on the Object 140. Looks like most of the enemy on the other side of the battlefield. Now, the hull of the Object 261 is based on the IS-7. Of course, the IS-7 was basically cancelled, although they did make some examples. So, as they weren't going to produce any IS-7s, they had enough IS-3s as it was. I'm afraid the RT never got made. The Object 261 is blueprints only. Now, it only carries 18 rounds, or sorry, 20 rounds in the game, not 18. 20 rounds, and the problem with that is you will likely burn through all of your ammunition very, very quickly in a standard game if you just keep firing at maximum fire rate. Oh, before you can get that T92, there's the opposite number, and he's gone. That means there's no more Arty on the enemy team. And that means now he doesn't have to relocate after each shot. He can stay where he is and just relocate to avoid the enemy tanks. Lining up a shot in the back chat, he fires ahead of its path. Oh, and he gets a hit! Even though the back chat 25 tons stopped, he still got a hit on him. Now, it seems it's made on the IS-7 hull. It's fairly mobile, 50 kilometers an hour speed. It's just got a bit of a nasty traverse, only 5 degrees either side of the centre line, so 10 degrees overall, and that's slightly better than some of the other Arty. Oh, he got a fire! He's set the Progetto 65 alight, and so he picked up some extra hit points off the fire, but it looks like the fire was extinguished fairly quickly, so I think that was a premium fire extinguisher. There's only 2 enemies left, the Object 277 and their Bosch 155. He's trying to get a shot, but that building's getting in the way, so he fires in anyway to splash him and picks up 220 from that. And he gets some stun assist immediately afterwards. So he's actually done very well in this battle because he's picked up a lot of damage. The last remaining enemy is the Bosch 155, and he just killed our M48 Patton. So we're just trying to line up a shot on him. Coming up to that hill. Rounds out. Close, but no moniker. Yep, he's stunned. And he's gone. So that's the first battle. It is a multiple battle game. But first battle's over, and it is a victory. Here's the end of battle results, and despite the fact that he got a lot of damage in that game and a lot of assist, I'm afraid he only got a first class tanker in the Object 261, but it was a good game because he got a bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he got 17, and Petro also picked up a Confederate for hitting more of the enemy than anyone else in his team, and I don't think you could dispute that because just look at the number of enemy tanks he hit and only 1 kill. That Gorilla, who, well, just put himself in the sniping position in the usual spot and made himself an easy target for Petro. Well, I say easy target, but it was a good target nonetheless. His win rate from that one was 3,637. I think you can see that he actually did 557 hit points of damage and penetrated the Gorilla 15. Although the Gorilla's basically got no armor, I think it went straight through the armor of the Panther hull that it's mounted on, and that was more than the damage he actually did which killed it, which means that he did hit it twice, and the first shot actually hit the TVP and splashed the Gorilla, who was sitting right next door to him at the time. 3,637 is a Super Unicum standard. Let's have a look at team score. Well, nowhere near the highest damage in the game. That was the Kramvan on his team with 4,292 hit points. Second highest damage is the Object 277 on the enemy team, 4,191. And third highest damage went to Petro with 3,836. So at least he's in the ballpark on the top scorers. When it came to kills, he was nowhere near the top because, of course, he didn't get a lot of kills. But the Kramvan, the Batchat 25 ton, and the Bosch 155 on the enemy team all managed to get 3 kills. 2 kills went to the Object 268 and the TVP T5051 alongside the Batchat 25 ton and Object 705A on the enemy team. And there was only 1 kill for Petro. But when it came to base XP, he's actually joint top because the Kramvan and Petro both managed to get 1017 XP exactly. So basically, he's got the top in at least one of the columns. He fired 12 rounds in that game, so he only had 8 left at the end of the game. 5 direct hits on the enemy, 1 penetration, we know that's the Gorilla. 15 splash as well, 3,836 hit points, all of it at more than 300 meters. Damaged 10 of the enemy, killed 1, so there's a 9 difference. That's where he qualified for the Confederate. 4,294 hit points of stun assist of 15 stuns. I think because it was a tier 10 game, you really needed all that extra in order to get the ace tanker, because the standard on the Object 261 is very high. So even with a combined damage of over 8,000 altogether, yeah, it wasn't enough to get an ace tanker. It shows you really have to go something on an Object 261 if you want to get an ace. He also caused 15 stuns, so as many splashes as he did, he caused stuns. On a premium count, he earned 82,182 credits from the game, and after resupply of ammunition and consumables, made a profit of 38,422 credits, 7 bonds for this being a tier 10, 1,525 XP times 2 for the first victory, 3,051 experience points altogether. As usual with this series at the moment, we're doing some additional work, and I'll bring this up here because this is showing you the armor on the Object 261. You can see it's very thin indeed, so yeah, anything shot through the front is going to go straight through. The gun obviously is, you're just going to disable that because that's a module, but you can see anywhere on the Object 261 is going to go through, so no worries on shooting it because it's up to 70mm or between 70 and 140mm all the way around on the vehicle. Anyway, if we look at the modules, this is where it gets interesting for some. There's the engine. It's up front. It's basically an IS-7 in reverse. Like a lot of Arty, they've just taken a IS-7 or a heavy tank and reversed it, turned it around, put the engine at the front of the vehicle instead of at the rear, and that provides the crew with extra armor. The driver is down here actually, it's at the front. There is a viewport which you can see if you go to the armor view. There it is, that little port there in the front. That's where the driver looks through. And we'll go to the module view again because I didn't want to do that. Okay, there's the driver. Directly behind him is the commander. Actually, whoa, didn't mean to do that either. And the gunner is actually on the other side of the gun, so he's the one controlling elevation. There's 2 loaders, you can see them at the back, and the ammo racks are actually either side of the back. So if you want to get an ammo rack on this one, you have to aim for the back of the vehicle, but not to the right to the back. If you go right to the back and shoot through, you'll probably hit the loaders, and if you shoot just a little further forward than the loaders, you'll get the ammo racks. The fuel tank is on the sides at the rear, so not up front. If you shoot up front, you'll only hit the engine or the transmission. If you want to go for the fuel tank, you have to go for the rear, but the easiest spot to go for is to try and hit the rear of the vehicle because it's an open cockpit, and more than likely you'll either take out the loaders or get the ammo rack. So if you shoot down the front of the vehicle, shoot down the right hand side, you'll take out the commander and the driver at the same time. If you shoot the other side, you get the gunner. So let's go to the second replay, and that's still in the 261. The second replay is on exactly the same map and exactly the same spawn, but it is a separate battle. And you can see now that Petro has actually got his first mark of excellence up on the barrel. So you can see, looking at the vehicle right now, that it's got that big open cockpit at the back, and that makes it fairly easy to take out the loaders. And you can see where all the ammo tubes are located at the back, sort of since they put the shells in the tubes. But I think that it was actually 2-part ammunition, so the shell was separate from the charge, and the charge was in bags, I think, in those days, rather than shell cases. He's looking right down at the end of the Magic Forest, right down at the south of the map actually. A lot further south than I think our guys can spot at the moment, although we've got an AMX 13105 at the midpoint, so he should be able to spot the enemy if they are in sight, and the fact that he can't see them is a bit of a problem. Okay, he's blind firing a bush on the possibility that there was somebody there. Standard reload time is 30.68 seconds. He's got 25.42, so he shaved 5 seconds off the score. He's telling his teammate to fall back because I think that he's worried that there's a lot of enemy in this area. Or is it just that they're on the other side? Well, fired a shot the area to Jaegeru. No results recorded. I think it was a bit too hasty. bit of a snappy shot there. It really does help that you've got that fast reload though. Going for the Object 430U. Always a good target. Just loading. Grabs out. Oh, it overshot. At least he gets some stun. Very little though. And there goes the 430U. So it's not a good game for him so far. Because he's used up 3 shells and all he's got is some stun assist for it. Looks like most of the enemy are actually going up the west side of the map. And there's very few tanks to stop them. Rounds out the TVP. Good hit. 395 hit the side of the vehicle. And he's taking some more damage, so he's picking up more stun assist. This is where it might be handy being in a heavy tank hull, because ideally he wants to move forward to support his teammates and also to get their protection. Splashes the Jaegeru for 140. Yeah, he might want to skedaddle into the forest now as quickly as he can. I don't think I want to be near the cap area when the enemy tanks start rolling in. Go for the Jaegeru again. Dialed in, rounds out. Good hit. 244. And he's picking up stun assist again. And again. Well, 1,000 or 1,100 off that one, so that was a good one. But the enemy is now getting very close to our cap area, and this is where it actually does become helpful to give the TVP 250-51, who's guarding our cap, a little bit of help. Rounds out. Well, he stunned all 3 there. And he got some splash off them as well. So that one worked. Yeah, it looks like our team have been kind of stopped by their Jaegeru from actually moving down to the south. But the enemy seems to be moving in on cap, and that T100, oh, well, stuns him and tracks him. And now they are capping. He's got no more defenders in between him and that T100, and those things are notoriously quick to get in, raid, get out again. That Batchat needs to move.
Watch out! Retreat!
Yeah, he's telling him to get out. He's doing the friendly thing, say, you're in danger. The T92 HMC's already moved down. If the Batchat stays where he is, he's likely to get killed. Grabs out the Type 5 Heavy. And a definite hit. But only 32 hit points, so it hit the armor. Yeah, ideally now he needs to get way down the south. They killed the Jaegeru. So at this moment, he ought to be right down in the south of the Magic Forest, or at least further south than the Magic Forest. So there's a few teammates between him and the enemy. Oh, I think he just got nudged there, or did he turn by his own choice? I think he's turned by his own choice because he's expecting the enemy Arty to come into sight. There's the 260. Oh, lovely shot. Right to the side of him. But then he is very close to the Magic Forest, and he is taking a lot of damage now. Loads of stun assist now. He's got up to 4,205 on stun assist. And the Batchat finally took the message and decided to move. This is where it's so useful to use the PM propelled to actually get the flock out of there if you have to. Repositioning to help your team continue the fire on the enemy. Doesn't help anyone if you get wiped out while you're still focusing on the enemy but not bothering to protect yourself. Oh, now we've got a T110E3 trying to go along the back. He's looking for Arty, but he's not going to find any. In fact, all he's going to get is hit 390, that's a nice hit. No penetration, but still it does a bit of damage. And somebody was indicating to the north, that T100 LT, there he is. He was where we were, so good job that Petro decided to move, because if he hadn't, he would have been dead. Okay, T123 in sight again. Line him up. Crowds out. Direct hit. And another one. 355 more stun assist. Yes, I think that T100 took one look at the Jaeger and decided, nope, he didn't want to go there. But there is an enemy tank only a short distance away from us right now. It's an AMX-50B. Oh, and he's been killed. So looking to the north, we've got a Noobs 1516, and we've still got that T110E3 up there. Splashed him. Now, most of our teammates have just congregated in the Magic Forest, and they're not really pushing either direction. Only the T57 Heavy has decided to move further south. He was the one who engaged the AMX-50. Udes now can get the kill. Nope, splashed him again. 213. He's now up to 2.3k, but he's got 4.4 of stun assist. T110E3 kill shot. Maybe. Oh no. I was hoping he might be able to get a shot off to take that guy out, but he's loaded now. We're only one tank up on the enemy at the moment. There he is. Oh! Well, he would have had him. The M48 Patton got there before he did, but he would have had him. Now, it is a bit dangerous having all three Arty in the same spot at the same time. Thankfully, the T92 is moving a little further south. Two Arty firing together does attract attention, because they'll see the shots originating from that area. It's even more important nowadays with the tracer. This is pre-nerf, so back then they had to look for the tracer very carefully. You had to have a general idea where the enemy is. Now it's much easier to work out where the Arty's firing from, and if you have two Arty together, very easy to spot where the tracer's originating and work it out. We're 3 up on the enemy now. They've still got 3 Arty in play. 2 batch at 155 58s and 1 object 261. They've only got 3 tanks though. That's the interesting thing. A Foch B, the TVP T5051 and a Type 5 Heavy. TVP is the one you've got to watch out for. Type 5's in sight. He can splash him. Ram's out. Yes! And a kill. Nice. The TVP's a one-shot. That's why he was hiding. They suffered so much damage. And we just got the TVP. The batch at 155.58 got him. He fired a shell from behind us and killed the TVP from a splash. Of course, he was hiding behind that barn, which means now there's only the Foch B left. And the Batchat 155-58, or one of them, has been found and killed. The other one's just been located. Pitro's looking elsewhere at the moment. Progetto's just killed the Batchat. And that means now there's only the Object 261 and the Foch B. Ooh, now the Foch B just killed our Progetto, so he must be in that general vicinity. He's playing very defensively in the back row. Somebody's going to spot him. There he is. Oh! Oh, that was so unfortunate. Only the 261 left and we're reloading, so it looks like the Object 277 is going to get the kill, or the Gorilla 15. And they found him. And in fact, it was the M48 Patton who got the kill instead. So, second game and a second victory. Here's the end of battle stats again, and this time round it's a first class tanker, just like before, with a Bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits. In fact, he got only 12 in this one, as well as a Confederate medal for hitting more of the enemy than anyone else in his team. His win rate was a little lower, 2,327. He didn't do quite as much damage as I think he expected to get in this one, and of course it did help the team that there was more than one Arty, and some of those Arty players were quite good, so they were getting quite a lot of damage. Let's have a look at the team score. Well, we can see that the highest damage in the game actually went to the M48 Patton, who got 4,529 credits. The second highest damage in the game actually went to the T92 HMC with 2,833, and after that it was the Gorilla 15 with 2,723. And you can see that after the Object 261 on the enemy team, it was Pitro then who actually got the 5th highest damage in the game with 2,486. When it came to kills, it was the M48 Patton again with 5 kills. 3 kills went to the Batchat 155-58 and to the Foch B on the enemy team. And I'm afraid that Pitro only got the 1 kill out of that game. But when it came to base XP, he's in second place because the M48 Patton got 1,024, Pitro got 994, and 965 went to the Progetto 65. He fired 17 rounds in this game, so he actually fired more ammunition, but unfortunately got less damage. 7 direct hits on the enemy, no penetrations, 18 splash, damage of 2,486 hit points, all of it at more than 300 meters. He damaged 8 of the enemy, killed 1, 619 hit points of damage assistance, plus 5,674 hit points of stun assist of 16 stuns. So he did more stun damage in this game than he did in the previous one, but less actual damage. 85,320 credits altogether. And after ammunition, resupply and consumables, took away a profit of 31,660 credits. 7 bonds for this being a tier 10. 1,491 XP, but he got 10,000 for completing a mission, so 11,491 altogether. So not a bad score from this one. About the same as the last one, just didn't get enough direct hit damage, and his fellow Arty were actually very good, so it did help him that they were on the ball, so to speak, because I think the Arty between them managed to claim a lot of damage on the enemy. So that's the second battle down. Let's have a look at the third battle. And the third and last replay is on the southwest spawn of Karelia. And now Pitro's got 2 marks of excellence on the barrel of his Object 261. We don't often do 3 tank replay battles, but or videos rather. But I actually had those 2 replays you've just seen were actually from May of, I think it was May of 21. And this one is a much more recent replay. And so I thought, yep, we could put them all together and you can see how much pitro123 has improved over time. It's a bit of a stuttery video, this one, I'm afraid. Looks like there's a fairly high ping. I'm not sure if that's me or if that's Pitro. Okay, he's aiming towards the horseshoe. Was trying to get a shot on that object 430. Well, splashed him. This is after the nerfs, so obviously the tracers are much more visible. Still trying to lob a shell in the direction of the horseshoe. You notice how when you have to change the aim, it kind of sticks with the 261 until it settles down. I think that's a factor comes in because of the narrow field of fire of the 18cm. Gets a hit on the 430U. Yes, because the arc is so narrow, only 10 degrees, and the vehicle traverse is, well, not that great. So when you are turning the vehicle, sometimes the gun sticks, and as you're turning, it will then stick a little way to the left or the right of the target, and you have to re-aim it. 349, a good hit on the rear of the superconch. It's one of the things you just have to get used to with the Object 261. It does slow down the aiming as well when it doesn't fall directly onto the target, but it has got a very quick aim anyway. Okay, he's lining up for the superconch again, rounds out. That's better. 173, but he's picking up loads of stun assists. Oh! Explosive reaction for the 430. So he's already up to just under 2k of stun assist already in this game. Trying to get a shot on the Super Conqueror, who's trying to hide behind the wreck. Not going to help him. And gets hit again. 173. He's still getting hit, so he's more stun assist on the way. Now up to 2.5. Or over 2.5. He could probably take out that Object 268, the Bobject. He is a stun assist. He's a splash kill. If he can get it close enough. Rounds out. Yep. Oh, didn't kill. No, but he certainly wounded him, and he's decided to retire now. He's pulling back. I think he realizes that he's probably much better off being on top of the horseshoe instead of actually trying to fight the superconch. Oh, that's a good one. Hit the rear of the 705A. Of course, that's where the crew are located. That tank is built for side scraping. You can do the same again. Rounds out. That one appeared to land in front of the 705A, or at least its front left side. So I think that probably damaged the engine or the tracks. Right, up on top of the horseshoe, we've got a TVP T5051 hiding behind the rocks. He's going back to the 705A. Rounds out. That's a good one. And more stun assist. That superconch is giving that 705A a very tough time. And he's out the game now. He's looking for that TVP, but instead sees a Jaegeru. Quickly dialing in. Almost ready to go. Rounds out. Looks good. Yep. It's 288. He used his first aid kit straight away to get rid of the stun. Just noticed the 140 and the Leopard 1 to the north of us. Trying to come in from that side. The Manticore, obvious target because of course very low armor. Rounds out. Well, he did get some damage. Yeah, he's decided to move because if he stays where he is, he would get taken out, or at least he gets spotted by the Object 140. So he needs something between him and the enemy. Oh, look at this sneaky little Foch bee. He's snuck up the river and he's trying to get behind our guys. Well, that's a direct hit. It went straight into the side of him. He won't be happy about that. And the good news is that we do have a teammate nearby who might be able to do something with that Foch. Unfortunately, the Foch managed to kill our Foch 155. But we've got the rear of him, and there's a kill shot actually from our GWE 100. Going for the Strip 103. We're not doing too well here. We're 4 tanks down at the moment. A decent hit. Looks like it tracked the Striv. Yeah, this is getting pretty difficult now to win. We've only got 2 Artys left and a Gorilla 15. And we're facing 9 opponents. And now it's 2 versus 9. Oh, and he's all alone now. Oh dear. Not a bad damage score though. Look at that, he shotgunned them. Well, auto-aimed onto them basically. And there's the kill. It's all you can do really under these circumstances. Facing that many opponents, there's no way you're going to win. But the best you can do is do as much damage as it's possible to. Well, here's the end of battle stats, and that was a Bruiser medal for getting at least 5 critical hits for pitro123, and that's all he managed to get. In fact, he got 10 critical hits in that one, but sadly it was a defeat. His win rate from the battle, 2,309, so still decent score, but unfortunately, yes, it was a loss. Let's have a look at team score. Well, decent amount of damage because the high scorer in this game was the Bobject, the guy who took so much damage. He managed to get a Spartan and a steel wall and 5,024 hit points of damage. The second highest damage in the game went to the Gorilla 15 with 3,905, and the third highest damage in the game actually went to the Super Conqueror on the enemy team, picked up a Confederate and 3,755 hit points. We can see that Pitro managed to get 3,345, and that puts him above all but 2 on the enemy team and 2 on his own team, so he's actually in 5th place overall on damage. When it came to kills, it's actually shared between the Super Conqueror on our team and the Bobject on the enemy team, 3 kills apiece. 2 kills went to the Fochby and the T92 on the enemy team, and I'm afraid, yeah, Pitro didn't get any kills at all in that game. And when it came to base XP, it's the Bobject who did the best with 1,149. 824 went to the Object 140, and 821 went to the Super Conqueror. And, well, we can see Pitro only got 424 out of that one. He fired 14 rounds, got 11 direct hits on the enemy, no penetrations, but 18 splash. Damage of 3,345 hit points, of which 2,967 were at more than 300 meters, so some close-in action on the tanks that were actually in the cap area. 3 enemy hits received, 2 of them penetrated, 1 non-penetration, and 390 hit points of damage blocked by armor. I think one of the shells actually hit the tracks, and that's why he managed to block one. He got 10 hits on the enemy, but no kills, and 4,161 hit points of stun assist off 18 stuns. So there wasn't any fault from Pitro because he actually managed to do over 7,000 hit points combined of damage. But yeah, I'm afraid his team just wasn't up to it. They did have one good player who was putting out a lot of damage, and we think we can see that here. The Super Conqueror, he was having a great time with that 705A, and so was Pitro, but of the others, only the Badger was actually any good. as well as the Gorilla 15. So, when it came to credits, he earned 70,875 on a premium account after ammunition resupply, repair and consumables. He made a small loss of 3,983 credits, 5 bonds for this being tier 10, 636 XP and no multipliers, so that's all the experience points he took away. But it just goes to show that once a player gets really good in the Object 261, they do generate a lot of damage in any battle. And I thoroughly recommend the 261 as an Arty because it's a lot of fun. You only get 20 rounds, but boy, you can get a lot of damage with 20 rounds. You might not get many penetrations, but you can certainly influence the battle. I hope you enjoyed that replay and the video. If you did, please give the video a like, do subscribe to our channel, leave a little comment down below because it feeds the algorithm, and thank you for watching.